everyone. It's another awesome week of basketball and football and baseball and hockey. And this your boy Dante Suave. I'm rolling solo today. So, excuse me, just got in for a run. So please excuse any of the coughing. I'm not sick or anything. But anyway, on with the show, shall we? We'll start off with the WNBA. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up, but I have to say, um, the games that I've been watching, which the latest game I watched was the Wings against the Liberty. To watch that game and see how it unfolded and see how it ended was absolutely awesome. Um, as in everything, there's always a chess match, right? So, and that's the biggest part that I love about it. I love the chess match and to see who's gonna break. What team is going to break who? Who's going to break down? Who's going to allow the defense to completely shut down their offense, make them stagnant, make them put them more in ISO situations, allow themselves to be put in ISO only shoot three situations. Because at the end of the day, if you really pay attention to the games, that's how they most likely end up going. Who's going to get out rebounded, which is going to lead to more points for one team. Kind of like this weekend with my Spurs. They got a series, which I'm going to get to that. Um, I'm going to get to them. I'm going to get to that and how I feel that series is going and where I'm hoping it'll end up and where I think it's going to end up. So, and yes, there is a difference. So, because I'm not one of those, yes, I'm a fan of my team, but from watching the games, which I even went back and I watched game three and saw why they lost game three and going to talk about that. Because the one thing that everybody's going to learn about me is that yes, I have my teams. But I watch my teams. I pay attention to my teams. I may not be able to keep up with every nuance that's happening in the news and happening in the background, but I'm telling you, if I watch the games, I know what I see. I do know what I see, and I'm going to critique on what I see. And I'm going to come up with hypothesis of why I think things happen the way they did. If I feel like it's a locker room issue, I'm gonna bring it up, and it's always gonna be hypothetical because clearly I'm not there in the locker room, so I don't know what all's going on. But um, if you've been watching it as long as I have, which I just turned 49, so and I've been watching basketball since I was at least 6 years old, about 6 or 7. Started watching it when I moved to Detroit. Um, I had to move to Detroit to live with my mom. So yeah, on with the show. But that um AZ Fudd, oh my God, and Paige Becker's my Yukon girls. Yeah, yeah, they showed out. They showed out, and it was like once it clicked, you saw it. It started clicking. They couldn't miss. Game was pretty interesting up till about halftime. After halftime, yeah, something clicked, and the Wings they flew. They flew the coop, and they never looked back. It was absolutely awesome. Um, and it's interesting to watch the difference between the way the females play the game and play defense and there's a little difference and then there's some similarity, especially when it comes to seeing who seems to be the way the chemistry goes and the way where everything is flowing to see who's in whose league, who's close, who's not close at all, and just that that nuance and see how a game might start off close and they battling and then it just turns into a blowout. which for me, that's where I come up with that the chess match to basically wear you down. Like who's gonna wear down first? Who's gonna wear down? Who's gonna appear to give up? I you can't actually say that they gave up because you're not in their heads, you don't know. You can say it looked like they gave up, um, and then you can point out the reasons why. Or you can point out the fact that one team was just too fast for the other one. Every time they looked like they tried to knuckle down and slow down the team, it was an anomaly, and the other team would kick it back up a notch and continue to um dominate. So not like DeAndre Ayton, actual domination. So yeah. But yeah, so just to give you an idea, AZ Fudd, um, yeah, she showed out. Paige Becker showed out. Who else showed out in that game? Yeah, Sabali for the Liberty showed out. She and then Sabrina Ionescu. It was her first game back. But she looked pretty good for her first game back. So she did what she could, but like I said, once it kicked in for the Wings, it was like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, game over, game done. Because the way the game started off, you thought it was going to be a blowout for the Liberty because they ended up going up like 11-2, and um the Dallas had to call a timeout, and then once they came back from the timeout, then things got a little tighter and stayed tight through halftime. So, um, and then like I said, third quarter came, it was like, yeah, you know what? This is our game. We're taking this from them. And that's exactly what they did. They came out the third quarter and it was just like, wow, the difference of two halves. And that's exactly what you saw. It was like a difference in two halves, and New York could not recover no matter how much they tried, which they did. They did try. They did try to recover, but every time they tried to recover, Dallas just kept they would come turn around and just pull back away. They would not let them get back too close. So um I'm definitely going to be watching more games. I believe I saw that a game comes on tonight between that Raw and the Knicks game. I'm gonna have them where I can check them all out, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. But I'm definitely liking from the games that I've been able to watch of the WNBA. You know what they say, when it comes to the ladies, it's about the fundamentals. And I love seeing post game. I love seeing people getting beat off the dribble, old school style. Like I said, I'm 49, so that's what I love. That's what I used to love to see. I used to love to see somebody just you didn't want to do one-on-one because there were people that could take you off the dribble, and it was not a problem. You still have that today. Example like I talked about last week, uh Tobias Harris trying to check Donovan Mitchell. It was like, dude, no. Like this guy can take you off the dribble at will. He knows it. You know it. He knows you know it, and he knows you can't stop it. And he knows that's probably all up in your head, just wearing you out, just wearing you out in the space that is renting in your head, flat out. And it's awesome to watch. Shout out to the Reds. The Reds are beating the Mets 7-1 in the seventh inning right now. Looks like the Diamondbacks are beating the Giants 1-0 at the bottom of the fourth. Now, let's talk about let's jump over to baseball because I saw an article that I want to talk about. It looks like there could be two cities that are heavy favorites to land new baseball teams. I'm in the middle of my getting reacquainted with baseball, so I'm not gonna sit up here and talk like I'm like this absolute expert. I haven't been an expert since I was a little kid when I used to watch it religiously, just like I used to watch football and basketball religiously. Um, the closest I came to playing baseball was when we played baseball, either my neighborhood friends or when I was in group homes, in various group homes. We played softball. Um, I never really got good at like hitting the long ball. It's like I can hit a double, maybe even a triple with my level of speed, but I could never hit the long ball, and that used to always piss me off because I always had people either on my team or on other teams that they could hit that long ball and basically hit home runs. So, this article was written by Newsweek, guy named Tyler Erzberger. Um, Apparently, this was I actually saw this story yesterday, but we're going to talk about it today. It's okay. So, it starts off says MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred is not afraid to push the baseball forward. A few years ago, he implemented the pitch clock, forever changed the sport. Yes, it did because I'm a person that likes to multitask, and I ended up missing a lot of games that I thought I was paying attention to because of the pitch clock. So yeah, that was awkward for me. It I had to adjust and multitask, but yet focus more on the game to see what was going on. Because if the innings went straight 1, 2, 3, it was like, oh my God, the game's over. I didn't watch much of it. So so yeah, that um I can definitely agree that that pitch clock, which they have been calling for a pitch clock since I was a little kid, because people got tired of the chess match that the pitcher would just sit there and just make the batter wait, just sit there like, You're waiting, and no, 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 not yet, and go, and so yeah, that people have been calling for a pitch clock or a way to speed up the game. They have been calling for that since I was a little kid, and I definitely can say that it definitely does make the game more watchable. It does make it more of a challenge because, even if you're out there in the outfield, you can't really rest. You have to stay completely focused on the game. So I think it definitely helped in that regard. Anyway, it says this season he bought in the ABS ball strike system, which has changed the way umpiring in the Century Plus sport is handled. Yes, it is nice to be able to look at that box and see what what's actually a strike and what's actually a ball. Definitely, if you're sitting at home watching, obviously, if you're at the game, I haven't gone to a baseball game yet here recently. The last baseball game I went to, Ken Griffey Jr. still played for the Reds. That tells you that was the last pro game I went to. Last baseball game period. This season, he he bought in the ABS strike system, which has changed the way umpiring in the Century Plus sport will be handled for the rest of time if it stays in place. I cannot identify with that. Definitely with my transition back to baseball. Um, Last time I watched a baseball game period was a local team called the Florence Yaws, and it was they didn't have the pitch clock had not been implemented into their game yet, so the game was really long. Unfortunately for me, my kids got bored, and because they had never gone to a baseball game, so it was other than when I went for my company picnic at the time. But it was pretty enjoyable for me. But like I said, without there being a pitch clock, things ran really long. So yeah, it just, you know, um, but it says, and now with the rules and functionality of the game in a strong place, Manfred is looking for the next logical step expansion. It is no surprise that the MLB is looking hard at adding two new teams in the next few years to take franchise count to 32, with cities across North America putting together potential ownership groups to pitch their cases to Manfred. But what might be a shock, as reported by USA Today's Bob Nightingale, is that MLB might already have two cities circled in its next hubs. So the first city is Nashville. Has seen like a front runner with a strong well of support in the state of Tennessee and the capital on bringing a major league team to it. Tennessee has become a hotbed for college baseball over the past few decades, with Volunteers and Vanderbilt among the state's must see attractions. It also adds another team in the South that the Braves have owned for decades. The region deserves another MLB team, and Nashville seems like a surefire selection. The other city might be more of a shock, and that's Salt Lake City. While cities like Charlotte, Vancouver, Portland, Orlando, and uh, and others have banded per Nightingale, it is Utah that leads the second expansion slot um, alongside Nashville. Interesting places for baseball. Um, but I mean, if there's a market for it, uh, that's what everybody's doing. Getting in where they're fitting in and getting all that money, getting all the money, baby, the money. So I wish them luck on this adventure. Um, and but to go on with the rest of the story, they said we've already seen the city embrace the Mammoth and the former Phoenix Coyotes, with investors seeing the state as a growing commercial destination. A baseball franchise would be next. Like we're likely 2 to 3 years from teams officially locked down for expansion, as Manfred still needs to ensure the athletics properly transition to their new home in Las Vegas. So, but change, like it has been almost every year in the sport of baseball, is coming. I wish them luck. Um, it'll make it more interesting for fans as to what to do. Uh, it'll make it interesting for the teams to see when they expand, to see who can take over in terms of dominating the sports, as it always turns out. Still waiting to see if Seattle is gonna get their team back in basketball, as we reported on that story. So as we reported on that story a few years about last year sometime, that there could be some possible NBA expansion. So all this expansion means more money. Hopefully it means more jobs. Hopefully it means um, more positive distraction for us as human beings from the craziness that is life. So with that, let's jump into gonna be talking about baseball a lot today. So gonna be talking about baseball, and I'm gonna end with the NBA. Actually, I'm gonna switch before I start talking about football. I am going to pivot real quick over to boxing, because I inadvertently found out that a boxing match went on that I did not know about that I ended up watching. And this new kick that everybody is on, where you're a celebrity or you're a former athlete and you want to get into boxing, you want to get into MMA. For those that don't know, I'm talking about Ray J. Shout out to the dude Caliber because that's how I found out. I follow him on Facebook and I saw a reel where he was concerned for Ray J, and naturally that made me jump on YouTube and try to find it, and I found it. And apparently he was fighting this comedian, and people are a little confused, which I'm kind of confused that one minute you're on a show, you're on Cam Newton's show talking about you got a bad heart, you may die soon, but you're jumping into a boxing match with somebody. Everybody has a right to do what they want, right? You have a right to live your life the way you want. That is not a false statement. But the one thing that I don't like about that statement, it takes away accountability. Like a lot of terms, it takes away accountability. And accountability is very important these days, whether you're a man, a woman, adult, child, older person, younger person, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a celebrity, whether you're an athlete, whether you're just a regular person like me, it does not matter. Bottom line is this: accountability should definitely be a part of um, your vocabulary and how you carry yourself. Sorry. Um, so I watched it, and just like I figured, from I saw how they came out, and the guy, Super Hot Fire, I think his name is, he comes out with this young lady that and she's twerking, and he's got this weird sounding song as he comes out, and it's like this whole thing about being flashy and out there, and people buying into it. Again, everybody to each their own, but I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, and yet we want to be taken seriously. Um, you cannot be taken seriously doing certain things. If people paint you in a certain way and say, more than likely, this is what they're into, and you are into it. And based upon that, everybody that's into that certain thing, they pay attention to their actions and their behaviors and how they live their life, and then they start to see the parallels to the point to where they go, okay, so if I see this and this, and they like this and this, they're going to act like this, which is not always true. No matter what color you are, no matter what country you're from, it's not always true. And it's safer to assume. But you know about what they say about the word assume, you know. So, like I said, I watched the fight. The first round was a joke in 12 halves. Um, Second round comes, doesn't last past 26 seconds, I think it was. Ray J gets stiffed. And the reason why I say he got stiffed is because he got caught, his body went stiff, and he fell against the ropes on his way to the floor. Then, when you thought it couldn't get any more embarrassing, they woke Ray J up. He got up, and I'm guessing the interviewer was a comedian because the way he was acting was just like he was now the one thing I will give him was he wasn't holding back. He was trying to get he was being real with Ray J. He's like, dude, you talked all that smack and you got knocked out. Not his exact words, but I would like as many people as possible to watch my show. So then Ray J goes into this rant where he accuses the guy of not following the script, but doesn't accuse him of not following the script. Because as he put it, he didn't want to get nobody in trouble and said that it was BS. And he kept following the dude around, and people kept getting worried that he was going to try to be violent with him. So they kept jumping in front of him, trying to keep him apart. And dude was not super hot fire. He was not worried. He was not worried. He wasn't paying Ray J no attention. He seemed to have a little smirk on his face, like what Ray J was saying was 100% true, but without proof that he could present right then and there. He was just gonna let Ray J talk. Because bottom line, he lost. He got knocked out. He got embarrassed. Um, then of course that sent me down a rabbit hole. So because apparently the guy had lost two previous fights. So I looked up another fight, and it just so happens that apparently Le'Veon Bell is still fighting. Okay. Um, and these fights, I, my bad for my curiosity to see what the big whoop is, because I didn't see anything that was, even when he fought Le'Veon Bell, I did not see anything that said like who's watching this, who's paying for this, how much are these people being paid? um, which I will research that and we'll talk more about it next week. But I just we're getting so caught up in the culture of social media and being out there and being um how they say want to be flashy. I didn't get into this to be flashy. I got into this because I love music, I love wrestling, and I love sports. So even though I didn't take the conventional route, I'm serious. I am serious about this. I did go to school. I didn't take up journalism. Um, I have taken a journalism class, I believe in high school, either a high school or one of my college courses. Um, might have been in college. Yeah. Um, actually, it might have been in both my college courses. But anyway, didn't take it enough to get a 4 year degree, but took it enough to definitely pass my class and get the degrees that I got. So, um, but yeah, this was sad to watch, especially the aftermath where things got accusatory and things got accusatory and just like I said, flat out embarrassing. Because even if you guys did make a deal and he played you, sure you want to announce that to where it ends up going viral, where it ends up on YouTube for everybody to watch. That all that smack you was talking, you were just acting. It wasn't supposed to be a real boxing match. It wasn't supposed to be a real MMA match, whatever it was. Which I take that back. I believe it was an MMA match because I got confused and had to zip it back because I thought I saw Ray J throw some kicks, and I'm like, and then I noticed they're like, oh, they don't have anything on their feet, so this is an MMA match. Oh, okay, that makes this even worse. Um, because I used to spar with some friends of mine, so I respect the sport. I do have plans. I got some old DVDs that I plan on figuring out how to. I want to react to them. So, and I'm going to figure out how to get away with doing so. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, this it was sad. It was like, wait, where's your money at? Where's your money at? What are we doing with your money that you're having to do this ridiculous stuff that from the looks of it, you're clearly um there might have been some training, but I question how much time went into it from what I watched. So um so yeah, that's that's where I'm at with that. Hopefully Ray J is okay. Hopefully he figures out another way to make money and get attention on him. Um and the super hot fire dude, I just between the first round and the second round, he had the girl twerking, the girl that twerked down to the ring. She was twerking in the ring while the ring girl was walking around in a circle and she was making sure she shook her hips extra. Well, she shook her body extra. I'll just leave that to your imagination. What I meant by that. Uh, so yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we were at with the situation. And hey, it's fine, I guess. To each his own. And we'll see what's what. And yeah, so let's move on. Let's move on to football. I saw an article that could be good news for George Pickens. It's from the Landry Hat. It says Cowboys would be crazy to consider this Ryan Flournoy trade. Um, I He started to show potential as the season went forward. So this article was written, like I said, the Landry Hat by a guy named Jason Candell. Hopefully, I pronounced his last name right. Kandel Candell. Um, so says the Dallas Cowboys have made their fair share of trades across the last couple of months, but this time we are talking about a trade they haven't made yet and should not make. Ryan Flournoy was one of the biggest breakout players for Dallas in 2025. Yes, he was. The pouting and stuff that started from George Pickens, he was one of the reasons. I can definitely vouch for that because I watched a lot of Dallas games and I saw the way he came out of nowhere um because it wasn't he wasn't the way he played last year. That wasn't the way he had previously been playing, and that was a detriment. That was part of the detriment to the Cowboys, seeing that um, Dak likes to spread the ball around, and being able to throw to somebody like him or tipping makes it harder for everybody to focus on the star wide receivers like Pickens and while naming one trade target for every NFL team before the offseason ends. Jake Beckman suggested that the New York Jets should consider acquiring Flournoy from the Cowboys, even though it makes zero sense for Jerry to trade away one of their starting wide receivers. Jerry does not care what makes sense to other people. Jerry cares what makes sense um to himself. Apparently Beckman wrote, if they have to make a trade, they should try to get a wide receiver who's got some blocking chops like Flournoy, the 6'1", 200-pounder in Dallas. He was talking about the Jets. So like he's not going to break the bank or anything like that, but he'll add something that the Jets could use. So okay, like I said, Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. Anybody that has mildly followed the Dallas Cowboys, you know that Jerry is Jerry. Jerry's going to do what he wants, no matter what anybody says. So to me, this would also be crazy. But again, this is Jerry Jones we're talking about. He does crazy. Um, but the funny part is even if on a 100% scale he comes out 60 to 70% right, the fans might cringe, but he's going, and you were saying, where are all my naysayers? Like last year, there were flashes that that team could have been something. And it was because of players like Flournoy and Tippin, um, helping Dak out when he couldn't get it to CD and Pickens, and then Pickens would kind of take some plays off. And I'm not saying it, I'm not hating on the dude. This is documented stuff. They showed it on ESPN. You want to get mad? Get mad. You want to get mad at the truth? Get mad at the truth. Get you a dose and get over it. That's the way I feel about it. It's we got to stop doing this thing where people can only tell the truth if it makes the person look good. Well, then only do things that are true that make you look good. Because I guarantee you, you're not going to do that for anybody else. And a lot of people that expect that done ain't going to do that for everybody. That's a specifically targeted thing. And while I get the reasoning behind it because of the world that we live in, no, keep it a buck. So with that, I'm going to look through the phone because I got some things that I want to talk about. All right. So I'm gonna do this, but I'm just gonna call out the names. I'm not actually gonna post this sad attempt at AI. Um, and oh my God, the replies to it was bad. But here's what it was. It says remove the worst running back from the ones that are in this picture. Now, these are terrible AI versions of the following people: O.J. Simpson, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Jim Brown. I'm sorry, LaDainian Tomlinson. My opinion, you're you're out. And I know I'm probably gonna catch some heat for that because people gonna tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, and you have a right to do that. But here's the thing that I remember about LaDainian. When Lorenzo Neal was there, he was lights out. When San Diego decided that Lorenzo Neal was too young and they shipped him, I believe, to the Bengals, he ended up going to the Bengals because he was considered too old, and San Diego got rid of him. I believe was the reason, age. So he ended up helping out. Matter of fact, he ended up helping out the Bengals and Baltimore. And if you don't believe me, then with the Baltimore part, um, McLean and I can't remember, and I believe Ray Rice and McLean. Um, Before Dallas had the $1 billion playpen, they had Cowboy Stadium, and the last game in Cowboy Stadium, Lorenzo Neal helped McLean and Ray Rice break some massively unfortunate records for the Dallas Cowboys in the last game in that stadium. They broke running back records. Look it up. So so yeah, because I'm sorry, to me, I watched Barry live. Like I said, I lived up in Detroit for a while. And the places that I lived, I was able to take field trips to go watch the Detroit Lions various times. So I got to see Barry live. Never got to meet him, but I did get to watch him. I would love to meet Barry Sanders. To me, he is the best running back that because of his line, you expected him to lose yards each and every time. He was so talented. Um, so naturally for me, yeah, he's not coming out. A lot of people want to say Emmett. Yes, Emmett's line was awesome, but Emmett Emmett could take off. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Emmett could take off before injuries slowed him down. Emmett could take off. He could take off through a hole like nobody's business. And it was it was also awesome to watch. I After what happened to Barry with Detroit, I shifted to Dallas, and then I left Dallas once Jerry. I didn't like how things ended with Jimmy, and I was like, nah, that's not a way to be. I get he's the owner, he can do whatever he want. That's his playpen, no matter where it's located. That's his team. That's his pride and joy. But I didn't like it. So I still love Troy. I still loved Alvin Harper and Moose and Jay Novacek and I ended up not liking Ken Norton down the line. We'll talk about that next week when Mystah Jay is back. There was something that happened and I was mad. He was no longer a Cowboy. He was a 49er when it happened, but um I didn't like something that happened during a game that ended up ending a guy's. I'm pretty sure that it ended that guy's career. Uh, Not that he did it on purpose, but still, it was like even in real time, I just kept screaming at the TV, "Let go, let go!" And he didn't let go, and the player ended up injured, and it was unfortunate. But like I said, we'll talk about that next week. I got too much I want to talk about today, and so so yeah, I would take out Ladalian because out of everybody, Jim Brown, I'm not. Jim Brown was a monster. Um, Even though no matter where you stand with it, um, the juices, the juices ability as a running back, I'm not taking him out. Walter Payton, obviously, I watched Walter Payton play the same as I watched Emmett and Barry. I'm not taking him out. So yeah, like I said, if I got to take somebody out, LaDainian, you're gone. Um, so yeah, let's see what else do I got? I got another one. I wish you know what? we're gonna do these again next week because I want Mr. J's takes on these. So I don't like this setup though, and you'll see why in a minute. It says who are the three best NBA players to never win a ring? I will explain why I don't like this setup as soon as I give you all the choices. Row one, Russell Westbrook, Allen Iverson, James Harden, Carmelo Anthony. Row two, T Mac, Chris Paul, Stockton, and Charles Barkley. Row three, Dame, Damian Lillard, Vince Carter, Patrick Ewing, and Karl Malone. Now, my immediate thought, now, my immediate thought went to the people that went to championships. But the problem is, I can only pick three of them. That would be Russ, Allen, Harden, Stockton, Barkley, Ewing, and Malone. The thing I didn't like about this list is that Russ and Harden are still playing. So is Dame. So I kind of felt like, you tell me if you agree. Like I said, we're gonna talk about this again next week. Um, so I'm gonna pick my three, and because uh, I'm already I'm already Barkley is one of them, and now I got to pick two more. I got to go with Stockton and Malone because they lost to Jordan twice. So they had two opportunities to get rings, and Jordan took away both of them. So Patrick did go. I do like Patrick, but if I was allowed to pick more than three, I would pick the following people. I would pick my three that I already picked: Barkley, Stockton, and Malone, and then I would pick AI, T Mac, and Vince Carter. Um, yeah, yeah. So the people that would be the odd people out would be Russ, CP3, and Melo, and Damian Lillard. Um, Not that they don't. I don't think that they deserve it, but if you're gonna force me into picking, and getting specific. Oh wait, sorry. Dame, Chris Paul, Russ, Harden, and Melo. Yeah, I had to relook at that. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't pick everybody that I didn't pick. So yeah, because Charles and then AI, T Mac, and Vince. Oh, I didn't pick Ewing either. Uh Man, I like Ewing. Let's see here. Bum bum bum. And then I said AI, T Mac. So if I was to pick my my thirds, that would be Pat, Mello, and Dane. Yeah. So now on with the show, shall we? Let's see what else we got on tap here. We are moving right along. Everything is flowing nice. Uh I'm loving it. Yeah. All right. So I decided to pick storylines to check up on teams, and I picked the AFC East today. So and we're gonna do my team in the AFC East. We're gonna do them last. So let's start with the Jets. Uh, I picked a I picked an article specifically from their page, written by Eric Allen, senior reporter. Uh, if you want to find this article, you have to go on. You could probably see it on X. You could possibly see it on Facebook. I went to ESPN. Oh, sorry. I went to the NFL.com and I went to the Jets specific website and found this. So I did some deep diving, deep digging. Right, right. So the name of the article is Jets set to enter final phase of the off-season program after pivotal off-season moves, pivotal movements for a team building its culture. And you know what? I'm sorry. I better see the coach's culture this year. I just I saw it for like half the season. I saw the toughness and that Aaron Glenn likes, but then the rest of the season happened. And I don't know if they just decided to tune him out. I don't know what happened over there, but it was not Aaron Glenn. I watched him for years. And I just, like I said, the second half of the season was not Aaron Glenn-esque. Uh, so it says following Memorial Day weekend, the Jets will get back to work and begin phase three of their offseason program. The club will have 10 organized team activities, OTAs, over the next three weeks before mandatory minicamp will wrap up the offseason June 16th through 18th. While no live contact is permitted during OTAs 707 and 907, and team drills are permitted. You have to be around each other to win games, said former Jets defensive lineman Leisure Disable. Holy crap. On the latest installment of the official Jets podcast. You literally have to be around each other because at one point you just start thinking like each other because you are around each other so much. And that's how that happens throughout the offseason and training camp. So these are pivotal moments for a team that has had a lot of change this offseason for them to start to build that culture together in this offseason. Duzable credits Jets QB Geno Smith for taking a veteran mentality in the offseason. Acquired in March from the Raiders, Smith quickly sought out a pair of his backfield teammates and joined them for workouts in South Florida. All that is a part of camaraderie. Say that word 10 times fast. Usually I could say it. I could say it when I'm not looking at it. Anyway, and building a cohesive unit. And I think Geno Smith started it early in the offseason with Brees Hall and Braylon Allen train it as well to try to build the continuity, Duzable said. And this was before Brees had that deal, so he knew that Jets wanted to keep him around. I I've been saying this for years. What is the culture? Who are the leaders? how important OTAs is. People always talk about the off season ain't important. They're athletes. They know how to keep themselves in shape. Human nature, folks. Human nature. Human nature, you're going to do what you're allowed to do, even if it isn't the right thing for your job. And that's sports. That's that's how you operate with your family, how you operate with your friends, how you operate in the workplace. There are people that are old enough within the sound of my voice that hopefully are watching this podcast. You know what I'm talking about. You go to work, you see it every day. Guess what? These people are at work. I've said it on my podcast a million times, and I'm not going to stop saying it. These people at the end of the day are at work. And if a standard is not set to where everybody understands that everybody has to toe the line, when it comes from the coaching leaders, it comes on from the players as leaders of the locker room. There has to be people to toe the line and say what's what and hold people accountable. There's that word again, right? Accountability. Accountability flows everywhere. People's behaviors show how much accountability rolls in your life. You can see it. It's there all the time. And at the end of the day, you got to do you it's always better to do the right thing even when people are not looking. Integrity, accountability, all of it. It's always better to do the right thing even when nobody is looking. That is so true. How you think when nobody's looking. How you move physically when nobody's looking. Whether you're alone with somebody or you're alone by yourself. And hopefully, if nothing else gets taken from my podcast, please take away the fact that I'm always going to preach these things because I want to be a good example. Not saying that I'm a perfect person and I've always set a good example. I'm human. Things happen. I'm human. Things happen. That's not an excuse. That's just real. Period. So, the article goes on to say while the Jets are expected to have one new starter along the offensive line in Dylan Parham, head coach Aaron Glenn is installing a defensive system that will have several new starters. There will be a new starter on the offensive line, Dylan Parham. How does he like to take his steps in zone blocking and in double teams? Where um is his step? Was a question that was posed. It says you have to build those things out, and you do that throughout the offseason and training camp. For the defensive line, the Jets are switching to a new scheme. They're going to they're it will be a 3-4-4-3 hybrid. And then um just third down pass rushes. It's really hard to gauge a run defense when there are no pads in the offseason program. So as far as the pass rush though, there this is where you begin to learn how guys like to rush and how you are going to rush with the guy next to you. The Jets revamped the defensive front in free agency by bringing in David Anyamata, Kingsley Anabara, and Joseph Osai. plus the trade acquisition of Tavondre Sweat and drafting David Bailey. So basically, what it basically it says, if you're David Bailey, if you're Will McDonald, if you're David Onyemata, if you're Tavondre Sweat, this is where you learn how the offensive tackles and the defense ends rush and how you rush well together based on the set of the offensive line, how they will how they are set up personnel wise. You can kind of understand how a guy is going to rush to the left and to the right of you, and this is where you begin to build that continuity and camaraderie. Got it better that time, huh? That way, the the season hits, you are full steam ahead, and you're not thinking, is David Bailey going to take an inside move or is he going to rush outside? As defensive tackle, you've repped it, and repped it, and you know how a guy is going to rush. The learning will continue during OTAs for the Jets that a new offensive play caller, Frank Reich, um, a new starting quarterback in Smith, and added a pair of intriguing pass catching targets in Keon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr., while Glenn will call defensive plays for a unit coordinated by Brian Duker. The Jets also will be boosted by a pair of talented, wise leaders in Demano Davis and Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't think there was a team that made more pivotal moves than the Jets as far as just infusing this roster with talent. Yes, I paid attention to the off season and who they pulled in and how they acquired people. There was definitely some messages sent, but the message will not be clearer until the season starts. Don't give me nothing about what you see in preseason. It will be, I'm glad that everybody will show up in the off season, but Aaron Glenn now he has to show and prove, or his job may be on the line, unfortunately. It would not surprise me at all if he ends up that his job is on the line. But good luck to them. Um, it's going to be an interesting season. I'm going to be excited to see what they can do against my Patriots. I love it when my Patriots are challenged, as long as they win. Yeah, baby. Gotta gotta win, baby. Yes, gotta win. So on to the Bills. Head coach Joe Brady excited about where the team's at, and Keon Coleman shares a focused approach. After the way his season went last year, he better be showing a focused approach. Like seriously, because anybody that heard my podcast, like during the playoffs, I was even mad at Josh for throwing to him, knowing the kind of season how he played. I don't know what was personally going on with him. I don't know. I just know how it looked on the field, and it didn't look good, and it didn't help the Bills. Which why would you want the Bills to be winning? Because people like to use the excuse when my Bills are dominating that they didn't play nobody. That's the big thing. So I actually like it for the teams to be good. That way, when my Patriots beat them, shh. So this article comes from the Bills website. It was written by Maddie Glab, 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 Glab. Hopefully, I pronounced it right. Anyway. Phase three of the off season is officially underway, and the Bills hit the field for their first week of OTA practices. Players laced up their cleats, blah 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 blah. Before practice, Joe Brady discussed attendance. Let's hear what he had to say because they actually put a video up. Nope, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm excited that we can go out and play some football, right? Uh, I'm grateful that we got the extra weeks, but sometimes it's like you're just separate offense, defense a lot. Even as a head coach, you're ready for let the guys kind of go compete against one another. And man, we've had an outstanding off season, man. It's really cool to kind of see it all come together, right? You spend a lot of time when the guys aren't here. Um, but just getting out on the field yesterday and just offense, defense kind of going against each other, man. A lot of fun, a lot of excitement.
For you, I mean, obviously you're into with the offense. You've been here long enough to know the defense. Seeing that now for the first time with Jim, kind of getting things set up. Is that kind of maybe the most exciting thing for you is to see how that's going to start looking to fit together?
Yeah, it's all. I mean, look, I think a big thing for me is just managing my time with it all, right? Like I'm trying to. We obviously have to continue to grow the offense as well, right? But also setting the foundation of everything that we're doing in the building, right? So the defense is just another part of it. It's been a lot of fun, kind of seeing it kind of all come together, seeing a lot of the new faces, kind of how they kind of fit, right? We had some guys, that were injured last year, seeing them be able to get back on the field. So um, I'm excited about where we're at. It's. I remember doing my first year in the offense, right? You got to set the foundation and be smart about not putting too much in initially, like and then kind of ramp it up as we go at the OTAs and the training camp. So it's been cool to be a part of the installation process. I really like where we're at right now.
Josh, I'm sorry, Joe. How has Josh gotten through the first part of everything with his foot?
Yeah, no. As you guys know, Josh, right? He's good. He's good to go, and was out there spending it yesterday, and really cool to see.
I think we talked to you, the schedule came out. Just what do you make of it and kind of the way it played out for you guys?
I mean, look, I think we're fortunate with a lot of the guys that we have on this football team that the guys play a lot of primetime games, and when you got a guy like Josh Allen, it's part of it. But I think it's the NFL, right? Every single game, there is no such thing as an easy one, no such thing as, oh, this one's going to be harder than the others. Like right now, um, you can pay a lot of attention to it. It's the last thing that, they handed me, got in front of me. I looked at when we're playing. I know we play a lot of days of the week, but those guys will have to play us and not the other way around. I know that.
What kind of updates can you give us on two defensive guys, Terrell Bernard and Ed Oliver? Are they all go at this point in the offseason, or just where are those two guys?
Yeah, it's kind of, and I can kind of say this as like holistically from an injury standpoint. Um, it's unique too because you guys are only here once a week, right? So it's going to be a little tough probably from a reporting standpoint from that, right? Because there's going to be guys, particular like TB. There's going to be guys that did more yesterday that might not do as much today, or guys that didn't go yesterday that are going. Like we have, there's reality, right? Guys are injured. It's football. I think we have a great plan for a lot of those guys. And the plan is to have these guys ready to go for training camp, right? And so it's good to get Ed Oliver out on the football field. Good to get TB, get around these guys, but we got to be smart about what we're doing. Knowing that training camp's in a month to 2 months, and we can't win it all right now. So if we overdo them with a lot of the reps, we got to be smart. And we're installing a new defense. We need to get a lot of guys reps. We drafted some young guys, so it's all opportunity with it. But yeah,
Along the line.
All right. I'm not going to play that whole thing because it's actually 22 minutes, but just an overview of from what I heard. Um, I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen with the people that are coming back from injury, Bernard and Oliver, because anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a fan of constantly. I don't care how good they are, continually holding on to people that have a issue of being injury prone. It hurts the team no matter how much their talent helps the team. If they're hardly on the field, or they're hardly on the basketball court, or they're hardly on the baseball field, soccer field, etc., that doesn't help the team. just like me and Mr. Jay were talking last week about Luca and who's more valuable right now, LeBron or Luca. For me, health wise, it's LeBron. Even though he's older, and but you see him on the basketball court more than you see Dante because of all that stuff that they tried to warn him about that he didn't want to pay attention to, and people ignored because of how talented he was. Now you see the reality. You can't ignore it. He's not the first person to go through this. Doncic is not the first person to go through this. And that's why you have to pay attention to it. And you have to ask the right questions. You have to. So yeah. So good luck to them. Like I said, I want them ready week one. I want them ready when they play my Pats. I want to see it all. Um Dalton Kincaid saying that right now is the best he's felt in his career. That's promising because he's another one that his lack of presence or trying to play through injury has hurt the team. Let's see how long this is real quick.
Body feels significantly better than this time last year. Yeah.
Anything you did this off season to make sure that it was in a little better spot?
I think just setting a foundation for strength in the lower body was a big emphasis early on in the off season. Just getting a lot stronger, and then from there, just implementing some movement and everything.
Joe had said something earlier in the offseason about developing a plan, maybe week to week, even through now and the regular season. Has that been formulated, and how do you view maybe the long-term goal of trying to keep you healthy?
Yeah, I think that's more just kind of playing it by ear, seeing how things go from this point, to training camp, and then from training camp into the preseason and season. But as of right now, I feel really good. So in a good spot.
Talked about not deciding not to have work done on the knee, but have you had any work done on it, like cleanups or little things that maybe aren't what you would answer regarding a restructure or anything?
Yeah, no, I've not gone under the blade or needle, whatever they call it. Yeah, the knife. So I've been fortunate enough not to do that. And after the season ended, I talked to a lot of doctors who know a lot more than I do regarding the PCL and everything that has to do with health. And they advised against it. So believe them. And then that kind of went into setting a good foundation for strength around the knee to support it.
Have you ever had any surgery?
I've not. No.
Maybe I should ask that. But
I've not though. No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
If the doctors had said, "Hey, this is the best course of action," you would have pursued that, right? You kind of let them kind of walk you through it, so to speak.
Yeah, got plenty of opinions from people, great doctors, a bunch of team doctors around the league, and they advised against it. Yeah, so went with their suggestions and opinions.
How cool is it that you'll play in your hometown for the first time in your professional career when this team goes to Vegas?
Yeah, it's actually on my birthday too, which is pretty cool. So families are already excited. Grandparents are there, a bunch of families in Vegas, so it'll be a cool experience.
You talked about you feeling well, but physically, do you feel like Joe was kind of saying you've added muscle, and do you feel the strongest that you've felt in a while?
Yeah, by far, especially at this point in the year. Gives me a lot of confidence knowing that there's still, plenty of months until the season and preseason. So being able to build upon that, it gives me some more confidence.
From a mental standpoint, to be able to build on it, knowing and not maybe having whatever doubts you may or may not have had last year, but then there's the rookie season where there's all kinds of doubts. But now you got this foundation. Here you go. Where are you heading? Your thoughts on 2026?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the best I've felt in my career at this point in the year. Just, not having those thoughts of the knee, especially last year. And at this point, I feel really good not even thinking about it out there.
Kind of
Yeah.
element does DJ Moore bring?
Oh, that was about DJ Moore.
I mean, he's everything is advertised, and more. Great addition to the locker room already. A guy that's fit in extremely well, and just his ability on the field. We'll find ways to really utilize it, and knowing Joe and everything he does. So it's great to have him here, especially in OTAs, and be able to work with him. Now, so then going into training camp.
Before being there, picking up your.
Enough of that. Let's see. And again,
kind of approach this off season? Have you done anything differently, or like what's kind of been
I'm sorry, Keon Coleman, after the way last season went, I gotta listen to this and then we'll move on.
since the season ended? Like how have you approached things?
I mean, kind of same process. Just stay working, perfecting my craft on them, take that to home, go from there.
What was your reaction when you heard Terry Pagula's comments about how you were drafted and kind of the conversations that were in the room that day and who ultimately made the decision to make the pick?
I don't got really nothing to say about that. My job is to come out here and play football.
How did you handle it though? How did you get from whatever your reaction was and processing it to where you are now, where it's
Listen, man, I ain't really have a reaction to it. I mean, words are one thing, actions are another. I'm still here. So it's just a blessing and just come out here to compete.
What sort of conversations did you have, maybe with Terry or others in the organization?
I told him, hey, what you say?
You have with Terry or others in the organization after that?
I ain't have none. I had no concerns about it. Like I said, I'm still here. I'm not traded. None of the crazy things happen. I'm still here, living in my house. You're not coming out here to compete. So I'm blessed.
Joe has said many times.
The possibility of being traded, is that something you thought might happen this offseason?
Not in my year, but the conversation I had.
Joe has said many times that he told you immediately when he got the job, he's the best thing that him being your head coach is the best thing for you, and you're going forward and you're on the team. What have been your conversations? Do you remember those conversations, and what did you feel when he said that?
Yeah, he called me the night before. Well, the night before the press conference, we had a nice talk, and that's our conversation. But we had a great talk. What does it mean to you though to hear that belief from your head coach? I mean, I feel like he had that in me from day one. So that'll make a difference.
Approach and how you would address going into this third year. Despite all the other hoopla, just you personally on how you approach year three.
It's time to put it all together. Potential things I don't really care to hear them. It's time for me to just put it out down the field.
Have you grown tired of the noise? I mean, as a person, have you grown tired of the noise that has surrounded you, especially since the off season or the end of the season?
It's on the outside. That's why it's on the outside. Don't let that bother me. Just is what it is.
How would you
tell to yourself? Like, do you not? Step out of.
I know what they're saying. I hear it. I
Okay.
just don't care. You know what I'm saying? None of them gonna come lace them up and try to stand from me. None of those things. So it's just people say they're gonna say what they want to say at the end of the day. My job is to come out here, put my cleats on, strap them up, and prove my worth.
how then do you assess?
Okay. Yeah, they're basically they're asking the same questions. They're trying to reword it, but they're basically saying the same thing. It's like Jesus Christ, man. Get creative. Um, Based upon what I heard from him, I like his attitude. I respect his attitude, and I wish him the best of luck this season. Um, Unless he's playing my Patriots. Uh, I don't want him scorching my Patriots. So, uh, but yeah, I hope he does because he looked so good. And then last year happened, and it was like, dude, what? Like, what happened? Um, but yeah, I wish him the best of luck. Whatever happened, I hope that the confidence that Joe Brady showed in him, I hope it does equate to him having a better season. I don't care if you're not on my team. I want to see competition. Because, like I said, I don't want to hear the excuses when my boys are sitting on top, when my boys have made it to the playoffs and the other teams are sitting at home. I want every team that plays them. You better bring your A plus 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 game. Period. So all right. So let's see here. See here. Got to do the Dolphins real quick. Phase 3 program, blah, 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 blah. Jeff Halfley. Phase 1 focuses on strength and conditioning and classroom learning. The second phase introduces individual drills And the third phase, which begins on Monday, incorporates team drills like 707 and team periods, but without contact. It's like, can you take what you've learned in the classroom and what you what you've taken learning your fundamentals and techniques and now change who you are and start making stuff up and putting that all together, have we said. So it's kind of like part of a it's kind of like part to whole. Holy crap. Can they do that? I think that's really important as we look and continue to evaluate everybody, like who can do that, who can how can we make them better. The Dolphins selected the most players in last month's draft, have one of the youngest teams in the league. The that provides their rookie class with ample opportunities to help accelerate the learning curve and further instill the team's message. Hathley leans on proven veterans on the roster. It says, I think we kind of have like minds and the same standard, wanting to be a team that works hard, tough-minded team. Yeah, because let's face it, not to steal something from Broussard, but for the longest time, they have been considered soft. Um, and not the WWE kind, SAWFT, the traditional kind, the SOFT. Um, and again, I want competition. I want these teams to show up. I want them to give my teams problems, but I want them to lose when it's all said and done. So they can beat everybody else in the entire NFL, just lose to my Patriots. That's my philosophy. I want all the teams that play my teams to be successful. I'm a Michigan fan. I want Ohio State to be successful. I want Penn State to be successful. I want Purdue, anybody that plays my Wolverines, I want them to be successful. I just want them to lose when it comes time to play my team. Now, I can tell by watching my team whenever I can, um, uh, whether or not how confident I am in whether or not my team will win or lose. But yeah, that's what I want. So, let's see here. Is that it says so left tackle Patrick Paul had a breakout 2025 season. He used his full season as a pro to work on his body, technique, and overall craft. Now he has a bigger appetite to pay it forward to the younger guys. Says just kind of adding to what I was already doing and bringing more people along. Paul said of his off-season approach, bringing all the guys on the O-line, the ones that were here and the new ones, just bringing them along to what I usually do in my routine. So that's been good. I said the energy was high during the first OTA practice, open to the media with young players making an immediate impact. Fourth round draft pick, inside linebacker Kyle Lewis intercepted a pass Tuesday. Well, that sounds promising for my Patriots. Anyway, other practice highlights included quarterback Malik Willis firing a strike to wide receiver Jalen Tolbert uh, for a gain of about 20 yards. Well, that doesn't make me happy. Uh, I know. I just literally said I like competition. It's like, yeah, I like competition, but again, I want to see L's. I want to see L's when they play my Patriots. That didn't sound very L promising. So, um, safety Dante Trader Jr. and cornerback AJ Green also secured interceptions while cornerback Alex Austin broke up two passes. Yeah, so it sounds like people are having fun. Um, Halfley is quoted in another paragraph as saying the guys do a really good job, and they worked hard. A lot of them were here before we even started. They were here when I got here, so they seem to never leave. They did a really good job in the weight room. They have been doing a good job in the weight room with Todd Hunt. I think Austin Clark has done a really good job coaching those guys, and we'll expect them to take a step just like we will with everybody. Okay, well, I mean, good luck to them. Like I said, I want to see I want to see L's, baby. I want to see L's in these parts. Um, but I want to see competition. I want the games to be interesting. I want to be biting my nails. I want to be scared that my team's gonna lose. But at the end of the day, I want them to dominate the division without any accusations of cheating. Because which is another reason why I wanted to do them last, because of course this whole thing with Mike Vrabel and what actually happened, that it appears that Diana Rossini tried to, well, they both initially tried to blow it off, but then eventually uh Vrabel appeared to break down and go, okay, jig is up. This is getting too big. People are talking about it too much. Cat's clearly out of the bag. Might as well admit it. Would have rather he taken the Belichick Spygate approach and just admitted it from the jump. But you know, humans are different. They do things different ways. Sometimes you gotta force people to do stuff, which is unfortunate. Um, because it just the overall thing, it brings a bad look to the team. They don't need this type of distraction, especially involving the word cheating of any kind. It's dude, go out and go out and get in a fight. Like, and don't cheat while you're fighting. And it's so no jumping people, no hitting them with low blows, no gouging of the eyes, just nothing associated with cheating for the Patriots. It's sad to say it if you're gonna get in trouble. Um, which there's a guy that I'm just did I I'm convinced that he just completely and utterly hates the Patriots. Uh, and we'll talk about him next week. But to get to this article so that I can move on to the NBA, so that we can end for the day. It says six storylines to monitor this spring at Patriots organized at the Patriots OTAs for short. This was posted by Evan Lazar. It's like after 5 weeks of lighter on-field workouts for the Patriots, the offseason program hits another gear when phase three begins with the Patriots OTA session on Wednesday. Mike Vrabel will lead nine OTAs over the next 3 weeks, culminating in a 3-day mandatory veteran minicamp from June 15th to 17th. Although attendance at OTAs is not mandatory for players, three of the Patriots OTAs will be open to the media, including the first day on May 27th. As always, the scribes will take attendance and monitor some important participation-based storylines this spring. One storyline is the whereabouts of Kayshon Boutte. To this point, reports have him not being present at the team facility, while rumors swirl both about Booty being traded and the Patriots potentially making a run at wideout uh, AJ Brown. There was some buzz that Booty could be traded on draft weekend, but he remains on the New England roster. Last season, Booty was third on the Patriots, receiving 551 yards, and second in touchdowns with six. He also ranked fourth in yards per catch with 16.7, becoming a go deep threat for Drake May. Yeah, not really sure why he's getting traded. Don't like it. Even if AJ Brown is coming over, but I know you got to give something to get something, right? So, along with Booty, second rounder Gabe, hmm, Gabe Jacas. That's what we're gonna do with that. And Eli Raritan sat out um, the lone open practice of rookie minicamp earlier this month. Jacas was present for the session but did not participate in the 75-minute practice and hasn't signed his rookie contract. Oh, Lord. Oh, apparently he's managing his hamstring injury during the pre-draft process. He sat out the combine and Illinois Pro Day before holding a private workout for teams in early April. Raritan has signed his rookie deal, but wasn't spotted on at Saturday workout. Interesting. Hopefully that has nothing to do with recent events, but yeah. It's like one, does first rounder Caleb Lomu fit in the offensive line? Okay. That is obviously that is something important. Um, with the offensive line being pretty solid, according to what I'm seeing, they don't have a spot for him. Um, well, I mean, injuries happen, so if I were him, I wouldn't uh yeah, I would not. Injuries happen, so if I was him, I would definitely be ready. And they're comparing him to Nate Solder's rookie campaign in 2011. He was drafted in the first round to be the successor to Hall of Famer Matt Light, who retired following the 2011 season as a top backup. Solder ended up starting games at right tackle for an injured Sebastian Vollmer and was used as a jumbo tight end in six O-line packages. Who presumably was drafted to succeed a 35-year-old Morgan Moses at right tackle, could follow a similar developmental plan as Sauter. However, Lomu, having played virtually his entire career at left tackle, it's reasonable to think that the Patriots will give him this spring at both right and left side. Should be interesting. Not a bad idea to have a multitasker the way injuries happen. Way too early returns on Drake May and Romeo Dobbs connection. Yeah, how's that gonna work? You're gonna have Romeo Dobbs and you're gonna have AJ Brown, which I could see why Booty would get traded in that. I still don't like it, but um and then Dobbs, can he stay healthy? Is my question. That would be another reason not to get rid of Booty. Can he stay healthy? And they got Mac Hollins. According to the step three of it is talking about if Brown does come, it's gonna be Brown, Dobbs, Booty, Mac Hollins, Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams, and Efton Chisholm the third. Um, That's a lot. Uh, the running back competition. They move on to say the fourth spot to look at is the running back competition between Terrell Jennings, Lon Larison, and Jam Miller. Not to mention Ramondre Stevenson and Trayvon Henderson. You know what will be everybody's spots, and also Miles Montgomery, who was an undrafted rookie. So so I'm not paying attention to that. I'll look at it later. Maybe I'll react to it. So yeah, I hope they can figure all this out and figure it all out by the time week one comes because you know that's a lot of people to try to sort through in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks of who to keep and who not to keep. I feel like that's not enough time to really give somebody an honest chance to like really put their best foot forward. That's a lot of pressure. Uh, um, trying to perform in many camps, trying to perform in many camps, trying to perform in the OTAs, and a lot of it is non-contact. Doesn't tell anybody like what you're going to do in contact. Not even the preseason games are going to tell anybody what you're going to do in contact because you're not doing actual move. You're not using the normal scenarios that they're going to be using week one and week two and week three and week four and week five. And then what is that adjustment going to be from all of this non-contact to light contact to doing one series against another team and um you know, but they better figure it out. So, and apparently McDaniels has created a new regular package. That's the fifth thing to look at. So let's see, like each checkpoint this season, head coach Mike Vrabel has spoken about wanting to be more consistent running the ball next season, although the Pats were sixth in average and 14th in yards, 4.4 yards a carry, and they averaged 126.8 yards a carry. They finished 25th in rush EPA and power success rate, which measures efficiency of on short yardage and goal line runs. In free agency, the Patriots made a point to upgrade their run blocking, overall physicality on offense, along with the signing of Vera Tucker, and they also added fullback Reggie Gilliam and blocking tight end Julian Hill. Blocking is important, folks. I mean, yes, it's nice to see the offense like go to town, but if people ain't blocking, if on defense your guys aren't busting through the line, they aren't breaking up passes, then what do you have? Speaking of, that would be the sixth part that everybody's going to look at. Building depth on defense at corner, safety, linebacker, and defensive tackle. So they're not trying to shortchange the defense, but honestly, the Patriots are back to having first world NFL problems on that side of the ball. Um, I'm pretty bullish on their projected starting defense, which now includes free agent additions like Draymond Jones, Kevin Byard, and second rounder Gabe Jickas. The Patriots added those three to a group that dominated the first 3 rounds of the playoffs a year ago. So, I mean, I I definitely want to see I want to see consistency and I want to see improvement. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to to people being brought in, and by the time the playoffs hit, the Patriots are ready to go. That's exactly what I want to see now that Vrabel is taking over the team. I don't care if AJ Brown comes to the team or not. Uh, AJ wants to win, and he wants to be he wants to be an intricate part of the winning. And if Drake May spreads the ball around, then that could potentially create problems for the team, in my overall opinion. Um, you got to be able to get him the ball, although I hope that uh, Josh Josh is willing to do more than just make AJ a a X receiver, because he does know how to catch short routes and lose people. So hopefully, to keep him in the flow of the game and keep people keyed in on him, they give him more than just deep route. And we'll see how that ends up going. And now, last but not least, the NBA. Yes, yes. So my Spurs. My Spurs have got to get better at rebounding. They're giving the Thunder way too many second and third opportunities because of their lack of size, um, other than Wemby. Like Wemby is most of their size. Cornette is cool, but he needs to up his game, but he needs some help. I need Harrison Barnes to keep being physical, but not so physical that you're getting foul calls. That you're getting so many foul calls. I love Harrison Barnes. He's a North Carolina product. Anybody knows me. Is when it comes to basketball, it's Michigan, it's Duke, it's North Carolina. Yeah, I said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it until my heart stops beating. Get over it. Um, but those are my teams, along with UConn also. Um, and coaches fueled Dean Smith, uh, Coach K. I lived in Michigan at the time that I became a college basketball and football fan. That's how I became a Michigan fan, even though technically I'm from Cincinnati. I do like UC, so I respect Xavier, but yeah, that's what it is. So, and UConn, I liked them since the days of Calhoun, sorry, not Callahan, Calhoun. So, you know, and that was also because of the rivalry with Georgetown. So the days of John Thompson. So uh I like the new coach. I feel like he's not able to get the best out of the players at Georgetown, and it's unfortunate. Um, but I definitely like the coach. So I like his fire. So, and he seems to really love those kids. So, but anyway, back to my Spurs. Because not only I'd already watched the game that they won, but I had to watch the two games that they lost. And I did that. And one of the things that's hurting them, obviously, was the bench outscoring them games two and three, but also they were getting out rebounded a lot. They were getting out rebounded on the defensive end a lot. And you cannot do that with the Thunder under zero circumstances. You can't give SGA more chances. You can't give Mitchell. You can't give Dort. You can't give Holmgren. You can't give Hardenstein. You can't give any of them Caruso. You can't give them more opportunities to beat you. In games two and three, that's what my Spurs did. And I was glad to see what I saw from them. yesterday, they came out. It wasn't perfect, but they stayed consistent enough and their defense stayed consistent enough that they won, that they were able to win that game and they were able to pull away and stay pulled away yesterday. But everybody's gotta keep a level head. Hopefully Bryant will get better. I'm coming around on the coach because I'm seeing some energy from him. I'm seeing why my Spurs have gotten to where they are, and I'm glad. Also Wemby, I love the team. He's he's new school, but he's got an old soul. I would like him to lay off the little petty stuff like him throwing them shoulder shots into I think it was Casing. Yeah, he was coming up the court and Casing kept letting him bump him and he kept throwing his shoulder into him and then Casing ended up falling. Luckily, they did not call a foul on him because they could have called a foul on him. So he needs to be careful with that little unnecessary stuff. And that stuff with him and Hardenstein playing acting like two little kids holding on to each other, trying to get the ref to call a foul, and then they're looking at the ref like, "Hey, he was holding me," acting like two siblings. It's kind of funny, but then it's not because I would like my Spurs to win. I won't be mad if the Thunder win, um, but I won't be completely mad, should I say? But the Spurs have a chance to take down the Giant, and I want to see them do it. But they have got to get more consistent on rebounding. They have got for Christ's sake, stop shooting so many threes. Pissed me off. Sitting up there, you got a 15-point lead, and you just coming down, just hoisting up three. No, missed threes equal empty possessions, which you cannot do with the Thunder. You're giving them opportunity to get the game back close and to ultimately beat you. You cannot do that. Well, you can, but I would prefer you not, and I'm sure other Spurs fans would prefer you not. I would like to see my Spurs go back to the championship, and and I'm just gonna put it out there. In my humble opinion, whoever wins between the Thunder and the Spurs, I thought, I'm going to talk more about this next week. I thought that uh, Cleveland was going to give the Knicks a challenge. Which, speaking of, um, sorry, I'm getting ready to start multitasking. Okay, go ahead and no, about to pull up the
Your summer plans are not
basketball game and about to pull up the Knicks game. Just turned off the North Carolina Georgia Tech baseball game. Now I'm about to pull up the basketball game. So bear with me a second. So, but yeah, that's what I want. I want to see the best competition, and I want to see them win. I would like to see the Spurs win, and they have to win tomorrow night. They have to win tomorrow night to put. So that was weird. I just got something about sharing my account with the WNBA. Okay. But yeah, and the Knicks, uh apparently the if was a fifth and everybody got drunk. and they're more than likely about to lose tonight. If the Knicks are smart, they bury them tonight. Um, now people are like backtracking on stuff that they said about Mikal Bridges, which for me, don't backtrack. Stick by what you said because at the time, what you said was perfectly valid. But just respect the player enough to give him his flowers when you see what was expected. That was something that Stephen A did today. He he didn't backtrack off what he said, but in his pettiness, he did take credit for what he felt was, as he put it, well, you remember I was saying what I said about him. Josh Hart came and me. Now they haven't been beaten since. So I'll take credit for that. And I just couldn't do nothing but laugh. I'm like, the man, the man is a card. I get the people that don't like him. He does certain things that warrants you not liking the way he covers sports. But at the same time, the thing I don't like is people not paying attention to when he does properly, when he does properly cover it. You know, people don't talk about that. And he does cover it properly more than the, at least to me, more than the stuff that gets more attention. But I get it. It's how we work. It's how we've been conditioned to work. We focus on the the least more than the rest. We focus on part of the pie, the quarter of the pie, and kind of leave the 75% of the pie alone. Because we want stuff to be 100%, right? So you're only gonna focus on where the problem is. Yeah, that's what it is. But um, so my predictions for the Knicks is gonna be simple. Unless the Cavaliers decide that they don't want to be completely shut out. I believe the Knicks are going to end this tonight, and they're going to sit at home and they're going to wait for the winner of uh, the Thunder and the Spurs. Naturally, I want my Spurs to win, but unless they can clean up a lot of the issues with the rebounding, because they were having issues with rebounding even when Wemby was in the game, but that was because usually he was away from the basket. And seeing that he's the main big of the starters, you really need him near the basket to secure more. Not that Champagne and Vassell aren't. I've seen them be feisty, but I've seen way too many times where second, third, and maybe even fourth chances that more than likely lead to scores, especially in the games they lost. So I saw it yesterday in the game that they won. I was like, dude, get the ball. What are we doing? So the parts where OKC was like sticking with them and bringing they kept bringing the score down to single digits. That's part of what was happening. It just they have got to work on that rebounding and do better. So now um my heart wants the Spurs to win, but until my Spurs can get more consistent and watch the fouling, which I know is hard because the Grammy Award winner that is SGA, that man could get some fouls. He's Grammy Award winning. You're he's the best. And I get the people that are mad. Like matter of fact, um There was one play where they called a foul on De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox did what Caruso did in terms of making sure he did not actually touch SGA. But the ref called the foul anyway. At best, De'Aaron Fox's jersey touched him. Touched his jersey. Anybody mad at that call that's a Spurs fan, you're completely right, because they even showed it on the replay in slow motion. And SGA kicked his foot out, which should have made it an offensive foul. Yeah. So, but like I said, the man has timing. He knows exactly when. Keep telling people, stop reaching. That's part of why he's getting the calls. He's timing when you reach, and then he goes into Grammy Award winning mode. He has you timed. Period. You don't have to like it. And the Spurs, not the Spurs, the Cavaliers, I don't know what it is between my Spurs and the Cavaliers. Why these players keep driving into triple teams? Why? I saw it a lot during the losses. They were driving. You got 2 or 3 people on you. That means that there's at least 2 people open. But you got your back to them, and then you end up trapped. So you try to shoot it up, and it doesn't work out. ISO ball does not help you. Moving the ball, moving without the ball, moving in transition, that helps you. Being aggressive helps you most of the time. I know the refs don't always want to blow their whistles because people complain about that. It's like the refs are blowing their whistles too much. But it is what it is. Is you don't give them a lane. So since you don't give them a lane, the fans and the teams and the analysts create the chaos that is the refs as much as the refs themselves. I use this analogy all the time. If you were at work, you got yelled at for what you did right. You got yelled at for what you did wrong. You got yelled at for what you did that somebody thought that you shouldn't have done, even though it was the right thing. You got yelled at for not doing something that you should have done that was the right thing. You're either going to quit or you're going to go to jail because you're not going to do well in that situation. That's the life of a ref. Just saying. And with that, Liberty are playing Portland. And right now it's tied 5-5, unless this 3 goes in, which it did. So now it's 8-5 Portland. And I started the game over for the Knicks and the Cavaliers. So I'm watching them announce the teams. So I'm Dante Suave. This is United World of Sports, baby. I've had fun with you. Hopefully you've had fun with me. Let me know what you think in the comments. And we'll see you next week with Mystah Jay. Be on the lookout. Hopefully he got my message. Hopefully he'll put his reactions to some of the stuff I had to say. Hopefully he'll put his reactions in the Facebook group, United World of Sports. We'll see you next week.
Pull your weapon for the showdown. You never know when it's gonna blow up. You just gotta keep grinding and show up. In the fast lane, baby, don't slow up. Redwood trunk for the funk, how you grow up. It's not the world of blaze, fire flames spitting straight cape.